Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're here to discuss today's game as Celtic lose yet again. This time to Hibs at home as we get beat 2-1 to probably, in my opinion, all but in the real season in terms of a league kind of point of view. And just obviously, I'm joined by Alistair and Liam as well. Just before I bring them in, I just want to say this. In my opinion, that result today has ended Celtic's season in terms of a league standpoint. Um, and I do think the season will be ended this in a fortnight's time, where we no more than likely get put out of the Scottish Cup by Rangers. We are a shambles of a side who, let's be honest, have been a shambles all season, filled with players that can't be asked, if you want my honest opinion, filled with players that have got no heart, they have got no fight, they've got nothing. We know these players, limited in ability, but you at least show a bit of fight. It's a club that is completely divided on and off the park, and it's not good enough. And in my opinion, if Celtic win even anything this season, I mean, it's embarrassing for Scottish football because we are dreadful, and I would not even be surprised if we finish this season fourth. Alistair and Liam, first and foremost, how you doing after that, Liam?
I mean, I seen it coming. I'll be honest. I had a bad feeling today, and then when Hibs scored early doors, I felt as if the writing was on the wall. I didn't feel as if we were going to come back into it. I know when Negrin scored, even at that, the one each, I never felt as if we were going to press on and get the winner. And I will obviously touch on it later. Trusty has a moment of madness, and we get what we deserve. I think this has been coming for weeks. I think you would probably both agree with that. We've discussed that anyway. So I think I've just came to realisation that we are utter garbage, and I think the next couple of weeks is going to determine the season. I know some people probably think it's gone today, and I don't blame them. I'm not one of those people that think it's gone today, but I think if we lose at Ibrox next Sunday, I think that's the nail in the coffin. But I'm okay.
Hi, Alistair. I mean, I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's 10 goals we've conceded. No, sorry,
Well,
I think nine is it? I think we've conceded in a
40,
week.
20 command, 40 Stuttgart, the other day, 8.
8, right? I mean, I'm sorry, and I get there was a Stuttgart game in between that, a good side, but I'm sorry, the matter you should be, the Stuttgart game we were over, and I'm not going to go back that way, but it's just the goals are conceding is just comical. I mean, and the one thing it was good with Martin O'Neill was here kind of for the first spell was we maybe no score, bucket loads of goals, but it would at least take maybe 1, 2 goals to get us, the result. That's failing now. And that's failing. We get away with it, in my opinion, against Kelly. We get away with it against Livy. Papered over the cracks. We come up against that. I likened it to when you play a game of FIFA, right, and you keep getting, you get beat, and then you put it onto the lower mode, and then you put it back up, and the Doug's bollocks at it, and then you get pumped again. That's what Celtic are at the moment. In my opinion, the Kelly and the Livingston game completely papered over the cracks, and if we come out against a half decent domestic team now, we're struggling, and that's what's happened today.
I won. Listen, I agree with both of you. I don't think it's done mathematically, or even other than that. But what I do agree with you, Josh, is I just kind of see. I don't think this team's got the fight left in it to win all the games.
No.
And if I thought that was possible, I'd be first to say, listen guys, say one today. But then even in the stadium when we were leaving, Josh, you felt all around the place.
I
As
know you
if
did.
that saying no recovering fit. So I would like to say one thing before you go. Well done, Mr. Desmond. Well done, Mr. Mackay, and well done, Michael Nicholson, because you've ruined a club that was the Champions League playoff last year. Now we're probably going to be lucky to finish third.
Aye. You spoke there about Alistair about the stadium. I think the day was, and for people that haven't, as I used to obviously know, I've been Doctor Negative or Doctor Doom for weeks, right? And I think even your biggest Celtic fan, your guys who wear the green tinted specs in the stadium, I think even they were like,
Why
it
are
was
you looking at me when you're saying that, Josh?
no. I'm talking about your fans, who wouldn't dare, criticize the club, and I think even they were accepting that this team aren't capable of doing anything. And I agree with Alistair as well. The fact is, see if I was able to see, and I've been saying for weeks, we need a confidence. You need to look at. There's been a lot of the fans need to back the team, but the team need to give something to back. And unfortunately, they've not done that. And there's been nothing that's given me confidence that we can go to Pittodrie, we can go to Ibrox, we can go to play Hearts, even at Celtic Park, we can go to Fir Park and get a result. So in my opinion, that's why I think it's done, because I've got no evidence to say that Celtic can go and win every single game of the season now.
The next car clash is round the corner.
Aye, it's just, you're just kicking the can down the road and you're just delaying the inevitable. This team will get, in my opinion, will be nowhere near anything. And do you know what? See if we do win the league somehow, I'll happily eat my words. Of course I will.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. I mean, Liam, it's just as soon as I seen these run of games coming out, I was like, nah, we're going to slip up, and we nearly slipped up in the two easy games in Kilmarnock and Livingston. We've now slipped up at maybe the first difficult domestic game.
I don't know. On you go, Liam.
Sorry, mate. Kilmarnock should have been a wake-up call, right? We were 2-0 down at half-time. We came back. We still weren't great in the second half, but we ploughed on. We got the winner. Today, I felt as if we needed one of those, statement, victories, if you want to call it that. I think we should have went out there and won 3-0, 4-0, or 4-1 or something, because this team just concede goals for fun at the moment. But at least a proper win and even a half decent performance. We just can't get anything at the moment. We're starting to not get performance, and we're obviously starting to then now not get the result. I know the European tie with Stuttgart, you could, maybe put that in a different bracket, but they weren't even, in my opinion, they weren't even up to much. I thought they were good.
Played in
Much
second
better
gear.
than us.
Stuttgart, I've seen them play much better.
Just about to say that, mate. I don't think they were full flow at all, which says a lot about us. We were, scraping the barrel. We were pathetic, to be honest. But we've said this as well. This has been coming, and this team are. I can't see us winning it, but I just don't want to give up. Just that kind of the spirit in me, I suppose. I don't want to give up the title at all, but it's drifting away, and it's doing it quite fast, and it could be over in a couple of weeks.
Maybe 1,000 cuts, Liam.
Aye, that's what it's like. It's watching the game behind your couch all the time. I'm watching the game like that. So I mean, my stomach's in knots. I'm pretending I'm okay at half time, and it's horrendous to watch. It's time to maybe rub this season out, maybe in a week or so, and just start again, I think, but we'll see.
Aye. No, I think Alistair, it's interesting he mentions, Liam mentions the starting again kind of thing, because I'm going to be brutally honest when I say this. I don't think a lot of fans realise how big we have got in this summer. We have got players, I'm going to be honest with you, there's been a talk about what players you would take for this team. Maybe one in a Rahul at this point that I would keep. The rest of them I wouldn't really be bothered.
Well, let's be honest, and I'll ask you both a question, so feel free. How many of those loan players do you think will be here next year?
None.
Do I want here, or do I think we'll be here?
Both.
I would maybe want Araujo, but I don't think we will, because his wages and we're too cheap, and that's maybe it. Or maybe the Ox isn't a loaner. He's just to the end of the season.
The loan's be an option. So
Aye.
no, I'm just saying. Let's be honest. and I know I'm making early judgments, but my season's effectively over, and I think we've all agreed that deep down. So, I honestly think this. We're not paying 7 million for Big Tam. We're
No.
no, we're not paying. We're certainly not
He
paying
doesn't
for.
score enough goals, Alistair. We were discussing that. He just doesn't give you enough goals. I know he's only played a handful of games or whatever he's played.
And he's
He
the
just
one
doesn't look
that's
like
had
scoring, doesn't he?
that.
No, even a day.
He's the one that's had the chance to.
Aye.
He's the only one that's realistically started. So what's that telling you?
I know.
Aye.
You're
No, I,
selling
I,
yourself.
I, I, I do feel sorry for Swans for it. I mean, I think he's just. I mean, I think he's just it's just up there isolated, and this is not even. This is another issue that's just spanned over, years, and in terms of the last 18 months. Ida was the exact same. Kyogo was the exact same at times, but the service just is terrible.
Yep.
He's struggling in a system, so that's what I've got a bit of sympathy for. Big Tam, I mean, I've got a bit of sympathy for him in that extent. Because I just think, and I'm going in the system in a minute because I've got a few points on it. I just think, he's really struggling. In terms of who I think will be here in terms of loans in the summer, I'd like any of them will be. I think, as you said, Liam, Araho, I think Bournemouth paid nearly £12 million for him last season or something. His wages are probably going to be quite high.
Mhm.
Do I see Celtic paying, say, £10 million in a right back when we've got Alistair Johnson come back? No, I don't. You also need, I mean, Alistair discussed at length. You also need to look at the fact that we're probably going to need to we're going to need to kind of dish money out per position. So you're going to need to look at maybe a new midfield. You're probably going to need to look at a new striker. You're probably going to need to look at a new winger. There is so much to do that I just don't see Celtic spending maybe £10 million on one player. And it's just the work that we've got to do going into the summer. And I think people are yet to realise this. We were talking before we came on here. Celtic finished third. We get a Conference League.
Qualifiers, by the way.
No
No
Champions
night
League, no Europa League, Conference League.
It's what we would deserve it anyway, and it'd be as big a rebuild as the Postecoglou first season, I reckon. It could
I'd
potentially
say
even be
bigger,
bigger
man.
than that.
I'd say bigger.
I think you're looking. You remember the mess, William? I can only discuss this with you because Josh wasn't born. When the mess that Martin O'Neill ironically had to rebuild for the
So
start.
John Barnes, he took over.
Yeah, aye, John Barnes. So, and he had the skeleton of a good team there. The next manager has got nothing.
Aye, because O'Neill took over. He had Larson, he had Lubo, he had Petrov. And he brought in your Suttons and Hartsons and Lennons and all that, didn't he? And Thompson and all that. Aye, but he still had a decent spine, I suppose, didn't he?
Yeah, aye. But
he never had a good goalkeeper though. That's always one of the things I was annoyed about.
The thing is, as well, if you look at the kind of COVID rebuild, you still had Jed Edwards at least for the first maybe 2 months of the season. You still had Ryan Christie. Wasn't great, right? But he was pretty good, I thought, in the first kind of weeks before he got his move. Tumble had a good bit of form. Abada was coming in. You still had some good players that allowed Ange Postecoglou the time to, maybe buy a few good home results to get the more players in. We've not got that. Schmeichel's going to leave. Tierney, the only we were discussing in the preview, the only position that's probably could be looked all right is Tierney at left back. The centre halves, Trusty and Scales. Liam Scales, and I just think I'm picking on the guy a lot, and people probably think that he should not be a Celtic centre half next season.
He's not a starting one.
Not a starting one. He's nowhere near good enough to start for Celtic. There was a point, I think, in the game where he takes him, and you said it as well. Like, I think Liam, you said it as well. There's a point where he takes about 10 touches in the ball and does something that could be done in one touch and pass. You can't do that.
It's infuriating.
I look at right back. Araho will be going back. Johnson, how fit will he be when he comes back? Engels will probably leave. Hatate will leave. McGregor looks like his legs are away. Negrin, I think, will stay. You look at Yang, he'll probably want away. Maeda's wanting away. The centre forwards are on loan. It's astronomical when you put it like that.
We wouldn't have this problem if they just acted like a proper club. But see, when people want to go, sell them. See, when they're at their peak, and we're this kind of club that sell people when they're at their peak, because it's the, buy them cheap, sell big, that motto, that structure. But we're even starting to fail doing that. Everything's just gone absolutely, south, and it's you reap what they sow, as they say.
No, I mean, and that's what, Alistair, when you put it like that, it's ridiculous.
I genuinely think, guys, to be competitive next year, you need 13, 14 players.
Aye.
If you want me to be totally frank.
And by the way, they 13, 14 players need to be spot on the money.
I know it. Let's be realistic. Not every one of them is going to be.
But what you should have, like we did in that Ange season, we had 4 or 5 who were spot on. Kyogo, Jota, Carter Vickers.
And then the guys he brought in January.
Even Joe Hart to an extent. I thought for at the time, where we needed a bit of stability in goal, which we're going to need again, by the way. He was, what I'm saying is you need 4 or 5 that are going to.
And that is why everybody wants, I know this is a match reaction, but I think we need to discuss the big picture. And that is why I think we need an experienced manager. It can't be a Wilfred Nancy type. It can't be.
To ask you.
I'd even say
I'm very up and down with it.
I would even say better. I'll ask you though. At least he's got experience of the league.
Mm-hmm.
What I think and I agree with you on that point. We can't go doing somebody that's not. We can't go to the MLS again for a manager. Unless that manager's the next Jose Mourinho, we can't go down that route, Alistair.
I agree with you.
But obviously, come back to kind of because that's bigger picture stuff, and I know we need to obviously look at the bigger picture. But come back to obviously the game today. I mean, it's just you can just tell, and I think, and I'm not going to tell supporters how they should support and how they should do this, but I've seen a lot of people moaning about some tennis balls being thrown at the park. Is it the tennis ball's fault today that we lost the game? It's just, and this is what my problem is, season with these players. Forget managers. They've jammed on excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. Nancy wasn't a great manager. Right, so you've got you're just doing the same stuff. Brendan Rodgers' style was too thing when Brendan Rodgers was caught. The players and I'm going to focus this bit on the players. The players are just a group of players that love just hiding behind excuses. That's not a Celtic team. A good Celtic side does not hide behind excuses, referees, penalties, red cards. You're a Celtic team. You don't hang me excuses.
So she's just touching on the tennis ball situation. See what everybody's talking about. We shouldn't be doing protests. This game, we shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. A protest is meant to disturb.
I've said that all week.
That's the whole point of a protest. I don't really get why people say, well, you can't just pick and choose when we do this. This is the whole point. Is it they have ran the club into the ground. We need to show our frustrations. They're talking about totally. And then this Brian Wilson, he's coming out with a lot of kind of word salad about wanting to make amends. It's all talk. It's all fluff. It's all absolute word gymnastics. It's just rubbish. Like, show us then. Like, stop talking and just get it done. It's what are you talking about? It should be done in 10 minutes if you really want it to be done.
It's it's part of political broadcast, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what he's built his career on. So he's got to be quite good at that. But I look at it and I could say I'm also going to say that's what the players are like. I've heard a Celtic team talk off the park. Talk run. Callum McGregor, we're not going away. I mean, you just look like an idiot now. You look like a complete and utter idiot. I don't give a I don't care. If, you say, oh, we're not going anywhere, well, show us that on the park. But yet again, you've been weak, you've been spineless. But that's what these players are. They're just weak, spineless players that just, and we've always said this, and I said this to Alistair at the game, as soon as a bit of adversity goes, nah, we'll chuck it. Nah, it's all right.
Aye, that's why I don't agree with Martin O'Neill does not. He's not. Every manager deserves criticism when criticism's due, right? And that includes Martin O'Neill. But I think personally, I might be going off on a tangent here, but I think we'd be worse off if it wasn't for him.
Oh, definitely.
But, I think.
I dread to think he doesn't come in.
Aye, but what I'm saying is that it just shows the lack of quality and lack of depth in the squad, and a lot of the time the quality and the ability that comes with that heart as well and that fight. And I just don't think, as you said as well, Josh, none of them have got it. They don't. I hate using the old cliche as well that you don't know what it means, but they don't have a Scooby Doo. You can just tell. I think Connecty at points today, I think, was it for the Hibs goal? He just lets his marker go and stuff. He has a couple of good games and then they just fall into this trap again. He just not doing the basics right. It's
because I look at somebody like Tanek, right, and you're willing him on to kind of do something, but I imagine there was a point. There's too many points when him and Tierney just standing next to each other. Like, go do something. Try and bring the ball forward, do something.
But it's stopped giving him the ball at points. I think he knew there was nothing happening today. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's the whole adversity thing. And I know there's things where we should have had a penalty. I'm past all that. I'm sorry, I'm past all that. Celtic did not deserve to anything at that game, and people might say that the red card changes the game. No, it doesn't, because we were crap the whole game. And see any good Celtic teams, the red card doesn't change anything.
You still got to win the game by the scuff of the neck.
We just play how we've been playing because we believe. That's the big thing with a Celtic team. There is no belief. There's no belief in the fans when it comes to they're going to do anything. With Ange Postecoglou, say we went 1-0 down in the 89th minute, we'll get an equaliser. They bother, we'll be fine.
Aye, and if you got that equaliser, you would be putting money on getting a winner, or no?
There's no belief like that. There's nothing. There's absolutely, and that's. I'm going to be honest. I know I'm relatively young in terms of Celtic supporting thing, but this is the first time I've ever had that feeling when I've got no faith that they even Dylas had a bit more faith that we would get something, because we had somebody like a Griffiths who could get us out of hole. We've not got that.
Josh, it says a week. I'm 42, so I'm probably but it's probably as weak it's probably as weak as I've seen. All things equal. I mean, we're meant to have £5 million players in that team, but they look so unarsed.
They let Nancy down, and I know Nancy wasn't the answer, right? But I mean, the guy didn't have a chance for the get-go with that group.
They hid behind. Wilfred Nancy took the shield for their bad performance.
A bunch of babies. They didn't like him or whatever. Didn't take these methods. Wanted Martin back. Got Martin back, and then they're just letting him do it all.
And I said this when Martin O'Neill come back. I said, right, get performing then, because you've got your manager back. I don't think we've got some results, but if you look at the games, scraped it against Livingston, scraped it against Kelly. When is the last time under Martin O'Neill, Wilfred Nancy, or anybody where we've had actually? That was comfortable today. That was a comfortable 3 points.
Probably at home.
When was that? How long ago?
The first one, Martin O'Neill was back. The one Yang scored.
Aye, so there you go.
I think that would be the one.
Aye.
Right.
Aye, but it's but obviously, I mean, coming on to the tactical side, because I need to say something. Listen, I'm sick of kind of beating around the bush when it comes to the whole managerial stuff. This is not me having a dig at Martin O'Neill, and I get that Martin O'Neill is not the main problem at this club, and the players. And as I've just said, the players need to take a lot of responsibility. Of course they do. And I don't know who's, and I think it might be Maloney that's doing the tactics, but there needs to be a change because the midfield is just, it's non-existent. You know, you may as well not have it there. It's non-existent. And I've just, because we're seeing the whole horseshoe football as well, by the way, and nobody's really picking up on that. Brendan Rodgers was,
Combination of all the kind of managers in it. It's like
Aye.
it's so clunky. I really don't know what they're trying to do.
it's a combination
talk.
of all the managers but the one that played fast attacking football, who was a Ange Postecoglou.
Oh, Postecoglou.
Postecoglou.
Aye.
And by the way, I would take him back a heartbeat, but he's ruled his sell out on the overlap. So,
And I'll be honest with you, Liam. I don't think getting back to previous managers is the answer. The whole club needs a fresh set of eyes. And I mean that on the park and off it, to be honest. I don't
mind going back the way sometimes if the manager's a quality manager. I don't like going back if it's Neil Lennon or something, for example. You know, Brendan Rodgers, I know people didn't want him back, but I mean...
What about Stephen Presley, former Celtic player, you know?
Don't even joke about that. I thought you was going to say Steve Clark. I was going to say...
Well, after the World Cup...
Well, we might be getting a manager after the World Cup, but hopefully it's not Steve Clark.
Martinez.
Hopefully.
But I mean,
I don't know about that.
I don't know either. I don't know about Roberto Martinez. I've just got a thing about international managers.
But what I would say is get the buy-in. I think for the vast majority.
Any manager that manages Celtic Football Club should be getting a buy-in for the support regardless. Because at the end of the day, they are managing the Celtic Football Club. I know it's not as easy as that, but I mean, looking obviously a bit further ahead, I mean,
I'll mind you said that when Steve Clark gets unveiled.
after they win Scotland the World Cup. Anyway,
that man's deluded.
You ever heard of a joke?
A
joke, man. But no, I mean, looking a bit further ahead, I mean, where do we go for here? Because it's just, and we're having that same conversation every second week.
This is going to sound really defeatist, but I would like, if it's possible, to be put out my misery early. See, if I knew we were out the title race quite soon, I would probably be able to relax a wee bit more. That sounds defeatist, but I just mean I don't want to be dragging this along. And
it sounds realistic to me.
I would rather just be put out my misery and I can just go on with my life because they're starting to bog me down, man. Honestly, starting to really get to me.
To be fair, I got to that point a few months ago. To be honest, I just apathy with me.
I thought you were over to that point, John.
Well, maybe people might say aye, but aye. So, but I mean, Alistair, where do we go? I mean,
well, seeing as how you two doomsayers, I tell you what I would like to happen. If the worst happens and we lose twice to Rangers, which I hope doesn't happen, by the way, on record. I would like the Celtic board to make, they're not going to, but I'd like to make a statement. The new Celtic manager, we're already in discussions. Tell us.
They don't know though.
Nah, they don't know.
They don't have a Scooby. They would, honestly.
Do you know, they'll wait till it's mathematically impossible for us to win the league and then they'll start scrambling. I mean, it'll be mathematically at that point. I mean, where there's no chance that Celtic can win this league. I mean, and I'm not saying you do think this, but if you think that the Celtic board are sounding out candidates interview after interview, I mean, you believe in unicorns at that point. I mean, honestly,
they should be.
They definitely should be. Yeah. No chance.
But I mean, if you think this, if people think this Porter God ain't proactive, I mean, you're living it.
I still wouldn't know. And you two know I love Martin O'Neill. I still wouldn't rule out them having the cheek to give it to a 74-year-old.
But see, Martin O'Neill at this point, right? I genuinely think we're getting to this point. Martin O'Neill's counting down the days till he can, go back to his radio
I
job
don't-
at Talk Show.
I don't doubt it, Josh, because I don't know if any of you heard Chris Sutton's comments. Yeah, after they done the interview during the Kilmarnock game, they done an interview with Martin O'Neill, and he basically came out in his column the day after it and said the whole window was in utter shambles. Now, I might be putting two and two together here, but what's the odds? He goes to Martin O'Neill, is it okay if I say this in my column? And Martin O'Neill goes, on you go. Because
I would have loved to have said what Martin O'Neill really said to him off the record. Because I don't
that's
think
what I'm getting at, Josh. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't think even what Sutton put in his column, I don't think it would have been polite as this. I think it would have went on. This club fucking, I don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. Because I think that's why I think Martin was like, I cannot wait to get back sitting in a radio studio.
Well, think it this way, Josh. The only guy we were willing to spend money on was that
We would tell them to go and take a flying focus to themselves, shall we say.
No, but you look at Mavuka, like, I mean,
we were going to spend $3 million on that guy.
Where is he?
That's what exactly what
for 45 minutes against Dundee, that was it. He's not injured or anything as far as I'm aware.
No.
Where is he? I mean, it's just the club's broke. It's spineless. I could go through all the book of words that I could use, but I'm not going to.
I never asked you this, Josh. How are they going to sell season tickets to people?
See their season ticket campaign. It should be buy your season ticket because some other cunt will get it. That should be their season ticket campaign. I'm serious. That's what, because as you said, there's nothing else. Conference league, nights under the lights at Paradise, some crap like that. Because they've got nothing to sell. But they're selling will basically be along these lines of, we'll buy your season ticket because some other gullible bastard will buy it.
They're no assets to sell.
No, exactly. No, there isn't. But no, I mean, going forward, I don't know where this team goes. They've scuttled me, to be honest with you, and it's a shame. And because they've shown signs that they can do something, but they've not shown that consistently enough. The performances, let's be honest with ourselves, even since Martin Neil's first spell, were terrible, and we're getting results. Now that's gone, I think people are waking up to realise where we actually are. But no, I'm going to wrap it up there for tonight's reaction, and we'll be back probably some point through the.
Never mentioned Trusty.
Or shit, Trusty. I don't know. I've not actually seen what he done, but you've given the ref a decision, mate. It's pure stupid. The ball's not even in play. Why even do it? I mean, it's just, again, that's not even a ability. That's just a brain. Come on, man.
Lack of brain. I watched in the telly, Josh. It's 100% a red card. When
what happens? Because I never actually seen it.
So, see when is it for the corner? So basically, both boys are kind of, they're tussling each other. I can't remember who he's actually tussling with. Trusty. So he's
I think it might be Hanley.
It could be. I can't remember exactly. So I think Hanley maybe grabs his arm and then Trusty kind of moves it away first time and he goes to grab it again and he basically punches the boy's arm. But when you watch it in full flow the first time, you think it's just him shoving the boy's arm away, so you think it's nothing. But when you kind of zoom in and they obviously slow it down in the VAR, you see it's more or less like a punch. And as soon as they see that, I just knew it was a red. And it is a red in today's game, and whatever the rules are, it is a red. And as you said, just do not give the referee a decision to make.
The ball wasn't even in play.
Exactly. And I know I've noticed with Trusty a lot. I know it's silly things, but see every corner, I don't know if you have noticed this, the referee has to get done for fouling, or the referee speaks to him just before it, and then he blows for the foul anyway, and he costs us you know, I know we're not great at set pieces, right? But he just costs us any chance, at least getting something. He's murder, as you said. He's not got any sort of football brain, no football IQ whatsoever. It's a red card all day long.
You made a good point, Josh, on him when you said, we went in the semi final.
They can't just
done that
basically
hard.
kick Butland in the heat.
And knew the day, 3 strikes and you're out, in my opinion.
I mean, it's.
Aye, many chances you want.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I know he'll know about it for the games at Ibrox and the game at Pathology, which is great. So we need to put our hopes in a guy who's barely played any professional football, or Dane Murray. So I mean, Jesus Christ. But no,
So you're looking at
it's just it's ridiculous.
better off with Andy Murray, ding ding.
What a guy! Andy, get him in there. But anyway, no. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up for today's video. As I said, we'll be back probably at some point through the week to build up to that derby, which I can't really be bothered. But anyway, until next time, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Yeah.